it's time to start working on enemies. So I'll just jot down some ideas of what needs covered. I spoke briefly about this in the last video, so there will be enemies. Lovely. It means now let's just keep a shorthand. Create a unit. Create a battle unit. So this will need a blueprint of some kind. Maybe all of the monsters will be prefabs, kind of like how we built the abilities. Maybe all the enemies we fight will have a single prefab and I can just instantiate when we need it. Seems like an interesting way of doing it. Maybe just a prefab that is instantiated and has been preset with everything it needs. Create this at the init battle state as we do with the player units. Then set up forward targeting. I think I've already done this, at least in some part. Alliances have already been started. Might be all, maybe all that is needed. Then set up states for the AI of the CPU to make decisions. So the select action state will when the active battler is controlled by the CPU, we move to a CPU select action state. When it is a player, we move to the select action state or battle state, whatever. So for the other states, set up ability picker like FF12 gambits. I think is probably the best way to go about it, or something similar to that anyway. Just have a priority list. Then after that, work on victory conditions. Then work on, you know what, before this, create a unit, create a battle unit. This will be done initially. So after we create a unit, we will need to create an encounter object. Scriptable object or prefab. This holds the data for which enemies are taking part in combat and their positions. Create a function on battle controller to start combat entirely and pass in an encounter. Then I guess we do the battle unit and then set up the rest of it. After that, work on victory conditions. After, possibly work on outside battle content. Specifically, triggering a battle, ending a battle, and returning to game position cleanly. Meaning we can repeatedly start and end battles with no weirdness. So I think this is probably the plan. In between doing this, maybe this, yeah, probably in between here somewhere, get distracted and build some other system to do with combat. There we go. That's highly likely. So let's start building this prefab-y type enemy. So we'll need some kind of some kind of way of saying who is the controller of this object of this unit. Who is the controller of this battle unit? And controller makes sense as in who is the controller of this. But I've already used controller quite a lot to mean an overall object that manages what's going on. So I could change those to manager, game manager, battle manager, and then use controller to mean the person in control. And a part of me is saying to just do that, having manager, because manager is a very specific word and controller can mean something else. So how badly would I break the game if I just go ahead and change the name? Well, we may as well just go for it, right? That's the fun of coding. Just break stuff. If I rename this here, it's only going to update 9 references in 4 files. Is that all I've done with this? That's not bad actually, if that's true. And I think that's maybe to do with the way I've done the states. Adding this means that I don't really need to change much if this changes. I just change it here and most of the states will just update. Alright, let's just go for it. Battle Manager. So changes here. Cool. Changes here, changes here. Lovely. Any errors? Let's see. Nice. I would have assumed not, because all I was doing was changing the file name and the class name, and it seems to have updated it in every other file as well. So that's a clean changeover. We'll change this to Battle Manager. Oh, okay, this is gone. What just happened? Battle Manager. Okay, I've broken a few things, it seems like. The unit list, we'll lock that in place and just drag the units in. Won't be too long until this is manual, until this is dynamic anyway, so. Game controller hasn't got anything on it yet, so we can just troller. Let's just change that to game manager. We'll call this input manager and look, 14 references and 4 files. That's a lot of files. I feel like I could maybe whittle that down a bit. Not really, right? Well, let's have a look. So if I go to select move position, cancel that. Select move position. Da -da -da. Okay, so we're subscribing to events like this. Now I wonder if I can change the input controller to be something just the same as we did here. Public input controller. We'll just fully spell it out. Return. No, I guess it doesn't work because uh, input controller dot instance. Oh, I've not done get. Fool of a took. So it's an instance, but I don't think we're catching an instance. We're catching the static. So this means we can't do input controller like that and then on left click because it's still taking the object or the class static. It's not using the controller. It's not using the instanced version of it. So let's just say input C, just so it's different. That I definitely won't keep that, but let's see. Input C dot on. No, so we can't do that. I can do it if I remove the static part. Now, is that a better way of doing it? Just by having each of these not being static and just being directly attached. So let's see. On left, see now we can do this. And it means getting rid of directly using the class, and it means if the input controller ever changes to something else in the same way that Battle Manager might change to something else, you just have to change it here and it will just update everywhere that it gets used. So it probably is better, but I can't use input dot because I like to use that. Say now we've overwritten or overridden the old input class, which I guess it's fine if you want to get rid of the old input class, but I kind of like using it, especially for just quickly testing things. That's maybe fine because it's no longer the static anymore. Input controller dot that input controller dot on right click, and we just do the same thing. So where else do we use it? It probably is more beneficial to completely get rid of this. Although maybe just by doing that, it's already worked. Let's see, if I change input controller now, maybe it's all done because that renaming. 4 references and 2 files. Let's see where. Shift and enter. What am I doing wrong here? Shift and enter to preview. I'm not getting any preview unless I've screwed it somewhere. There we go. So it's in battle state, which is fine, and inside input manager itself. 4 references. Where's the 4? It's 1. I guess the name and maybe the file name. Is that the 4th one? Let's just go for it. It seems fine. Input manager. We will change this to. Let's see. Oh boy. Oh, is it because I was silly and just typed this? I want to rename like this. So hopefully they're all gone now, the problems. Okay, let's just check if the input still works as intended. So move. Wonder why it's not hitting him. Oh, the pop-up is not looking for absorb, so that's a little bug from before. Okay, input looks fine. Just add a little note. Absorb action, pop-up not showing, needs to subscribe to event. Okay. Right, so input seems to be working. Now we're using the terminology manager for these things now. Pop-up manager is probably the next one. I don't believe anything's using this. Yeah, one reference, one file, probably itself. Just rename. Any errors for pop-up manager? Nope. Let's just rename the file now, or rename the object, pop-up manager. Hopefully everything's still still looks good. Everything's attached. So it looks like that's maybe everything. Maybe I've forgotten something. Oh, turn controller. That's on here. Yep, the last one. Let's see, 3 references. What will happen if we change it to manager? So change the file name and the one time it's mentioned in here. Just apply. It's all good. Tone manager. Okay, I think this is going to be unit Oh, it's going to be battle unit specific. So this is getting a bit untidy. Maybe make a battle units folder. Battle unit, center of the visual. Technically, movement could be moved in there. I guess not, since movement type is unit. It's just the other parts that are different. So I should probably move movement back to scripts because movement is not really specific to units. It's not really specific to anything, so it's fine just to leave it there. Let's see. Battle units, we're going to make um, a controller, that's what it is, yep. A battle unit controller. Maybe battle unit controller is a bit much, and maybe just name it controller. And this is just going to hold a couple of things. Um, Maybe something like controller type. I don't think that's very descriptive, or it's maybe not descriptive enough for what it does. I'm going to put none again, just as a safety thing. Um, Player and CPU. This is for if you charm something or if you get charmed, maybe the controller will change. But to begin with, this will tell the system how to handle the states. If the controller is the player, move to select action and you can move around and use abilities. If the controller is the CPU, then it should move to the AI chooses what to do. So yeah, also confusion, you can maybe toggle something here that makes the CPU control. Um, there should maybe be a third option for um, I don't know what what the actual thing should be. What I'm thinking is it's completely different if the player controls something and the computer controls something, and if the player should control something but it's confused. That doesn't mean the CPU is now the controller, because the CPU should be making actions that will improve its chances of winning. I think if something's confused, then it should be a separate AI that says, let's just choose something at random and do that, just see what happens. Doesn't matter who the target is, doesn't matter if it's good for the player or bad for the AI or what. It just comes up with something and uses it. So yeah, maybe player CPU or confused. We'll come back to that. We'll see how this plays out. So the controller is going to have a, I guess it's a private. Maybe I'll keep it serialized just so I can see while testing. Um, Maybe it's going to be controller type of default controller. Probably void set controller type. yeah, I guess set default controller type equals and then there'll be controller type of controller type, and this is the current one. I could make it current controller, but that's kind of just a given, I think. This is the current. Um, although maybe it's not. Maybe it's not good enough. Public void set current controller type. And then some way of getting this, we'll make a public controller type of default controller type, and we'll just get return that. And then same thing for this. Default current. Okay. So we'll attach this to the prefab. All battle units will have a controller. But when we initialize the game, or the combat I should say, yeah, we'll have some way of creating the battle list based off of the player's party and the encounter object that we pass in that we're going to create later. And yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to have a sort of deploy thing like Final Fantasy Tactics, or if it's just a base panel like Disgaea and everyone comes out, or if it's just a party and you just have a set sort of couple of positions and you only have a set number of people that are with you and you can only use them. Yeah. So the battle unit will probably have some kind of access to controller like this, same as we do with everything else. So now if we want to access it, we can do controller.current or controller.default. Maybe we'll have a reset, which just sets it to default, or reset to default. Set current controller type to default controller type. You could do something like maybe toggle default, and then we'll set current controller type to there's no real toggle, so I'll just need to hard code this bit. If default controller type equals controller player, then set controller type to controller.cpu, and then return. If default controller type equals CPU, set current controller type to the player. I don't know if I need that, but no, it just makes it look complete, I suppose. So maybe when you come out of some kind of charm effect, we can reset the default, or when you get the charm, we can just click toggle default, and then it will set that as the controller. But again, I'm probably overcoding because this isn't in the game yet. You don't really need to be adding things to the game if it's not in it yet. Um, right, so where are we then? We didn't really create a unit, but we did set up a way of distinguishing who controls what. So let's just create something. Create. We'll use the prefab that we have. We'll call it enemy unit. It walks. You can give it some default stats. I'll just copy this from here and then change them. So HP is going to be 50, some kind of boss thing. 10 MP. It's a little bit slower. Can move 2. 0 for that stuff. 4, pretty standard maybe. Doesn't have any equipment. You know what? Let's make this like maybe a bear or something. I don't have any sprites for a bear. Okay, stats, HP, MP, all good. Alliance. We can start with enemy if this is going to be a prefab for this specific enemy. Abilities, yeah, we can chuck something in. Although I've got a feeling this doesn't really matter. When I make an ability picker, I'll just put the abilities in there that it can use. The bear can use blind. And there should be some way of having starting resistances, I suppose. Yeah, there should be unit features, and it's literally just the features we have in here. Yep, but attached to a unit, and then we can just grab the features that are attached to the unit, and then that way you can build your enemies pretty easily. If it's some kind of ghost, you can add nullify element and add in your physical or bludgeoning, slashing, piercing. You add all of those, and then suddenly you've got a creature that can't be hit by physical attacks. So I think that should be something I would add. Add unit features. Just the features. What's that? What word am I looking for here? Property features attached to the unit itself, and apply them on start or something. The list grows longer, but I'm having a lot of fun building this, so it's good. Create unit. Just a prefab. Yep, sounds good to me. So prefab, enemies, Prefab variant, I think, is what we want, because then if I change the unit, this thing should also change, and I'm gonna test that out. I'll take off resistances from the unit and just make sure it's taken off from that as well. Okay, so we no longer have resistances on our units. Enemy? Yeah, okay, that's brilliant. Just what I wanted. So go back here, add resistances. Unit has resistances, and enemy has resistances again. So what have we done? This is kind of done then. Create an encounter object. Yep. I think this should be a scriptable object. Scriptable objects. So this will be encounter data SO for a scriptable object. Maybe I like doing something like database and then having your other crap in there. It helps keep it just a bit tidier, rather than just being in the massive menu itself. You can do create database and then all of your crap in here. So what's going to be in here? Yeah, so encounter data. I don't know if we'll need some kind of display name. If you would have it popping up on the screen saying such and such party, blah blah blah. But I don't think that's normal. I don't think it doesn't sound appealing to me to have some kind of name. So yeah, I'll just create one. Resources, let's chuck it in here. Encounter data scriptable. We'll just encounter data. Create one and say maybe I just want to call it encounter. Nah, because encounter data is a lot more descriptive actually. So yeah, encounter data wolf. So as we see, there's nothing on it yet. There's going to be some kind of object that ties in a unit, a position, and that's maybe it. So we'll have a list of this, a list of unit and position. So you know what? I'll just call it unit and position. There's no real good place to put this. Scripting. Unit and position. Um, Unit prefab, public vector3 int, starting position to be specific, unit and position. I'm going to set serializable just in case it can't normally serialize this. Let's go list of unit and position. Unit and position list. This is maybe good enough. No, actually. There would be some kind of rewards here. So I'll add a to do rewards and possibly EXP if the EXP isn't handed out at the point of action, like FF tactics, etc. I'm kind of turned off on the way that tactics gives out experience. The game's great and all, but highly abusable just by attacking your own units and things like that, and kind of feels like you have to do that sort of shit. But maybe I'm probably just bad at the game. But I probably prefer the idea of just having some kind of experience that gets dished out to the party at the end. Also means a healer can be in the party and doesn't have to do too much and they'll still get experience rather than being forced into having to heal every turn even if you don't need it and stuff like that. I think it detracts a bit from the gameplay. So let's see our encounter data. There should be a list. There it is. So now we can put in some kind of unit, which would be our waffle. Fucking waffle. Where is it? Encounter data. You drag in the waffle, give it a position, maybe right in front of the gate for some reason. 0, 1, 2, 3, maybe 3, and then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 0, 6 should do it. And there's only going to be one. That's all we're doing for this test. Now there needs to be some kind of visual for the enemy. So this is going to be a unit update. Serialized field, game object, battle visual. And we just do the same as we've been doing. We'll set a way of applying. Once this becomes dynamic, we'll probably have to set the battle visual in the code somewhere. So create a setter as well as the getter property. So what does this battle visual do? This is what tells the battle unit what visual to spawn in here. Because we won't actually know what to put in here unless we've got that. So these units, we'll get to the point where we can get rid of the battle units and just have a list of units, and then every battle unit will be spawned for us. But we're not quite there yet. So let's see, meshes, battle unit. We just drag, you know what, this is a bad place to do it. Let's do it in the unit itself. Battle visual. So this is a basic battle unit visual that everything will use as a default. But I would like to build a funky looking wolf. It's been a while since I've been in Blender. And let's go empty. So this is kind of what we've got to work with. And let's set this as wire. Is this going to be another thing of nightmares? I guess the body would come first. This thing's going to be a bit bulkier on this part. Scale along the Y. This is the chesty part. This is the smaller part, which is going to be maybe here. Hmm. This thing's going to be small. And then have some kind of neck like that though. Give it a head. Give it a snouty thing. Looks like a duck. There we go, that's a beautiful dog. But we're not done. Bring it in a bit. Make another one. This one's a bit smaller. And maybe let's curve the top a little bit. Oh my god, this is... I don't know what dogs look like. I've just realized I don't know what dogs look like. What do dogs look like? Oh my god. Okay, okay, here we go, here we go. This is better. Oh, I was about to say the beak, the muzzle sort of front bit, probably fine. Probably fine. Head, probably a bit wider, with some kind of ears going on. Let's bring it down, but then this is a line job. I guess it's not quite that, is it? It's not bad. It's getting closer. Uh, bring that closer to the middle. Bring this line closer to the middle now. You know, why am I doing this? Just mirror this one, sir. That's smaller. More bar, more toolbar. Oh my god, it's not. Okay, let's see. Where is... What is the toolbar? It's gone. I want the goods back, please. There we go, okay. Set origin to geometry. Let's add a modifier to mirror. Set this. There we go, there we go. So now we can just drag this in. Without, no, not without doing that. Okay, okay, okay. That is a beautiful dog. These are far too long. That's a problem. No. Look at that. That's a dog. Don't need that. This is kind of just on its side. Yeah. Um, Something like that. And then bring the bottom down to here. Get that down at the bottom. Push it down. Push it up. Bring out the paw. And then bring out the bottom. Look at that. It's a dog that looks like it's going to be doing press-ups. Can we just mirror all of this? Ah, one at a time. I probably could have joined it, but maybe that would have been harder for animating when slash if that ever happens. Lovely, lovely. Let's get this at the back now. It's going to be a little bit wider. Yeah, like this comes forward. No, it's this thing that's bigger, actually. Uh, and then these things are kind of pointed. Look at that. Okay, okay. We don't do half measures here. Uh-oh. Okay. This. Go with me here. Go with me. Okay, I fucked it. I fucked it. That goes forward, and then we'll have this. Yeah. Oh, I'm doing the back leg. What an idiot. Uh, okay, front leg just a little bit. Just a little bit. And then up some more. Yes, yes. Yes. Okay. That's fine. Front's fine. Back, a little bit weird. A little bit weird. Bring it in. Bring it in a little bit. Okay, so this one, okay, wrong thing. Let's go up quite a lot. 'Cause it starts about here. This is where it starts. And it comes down. Kicks back a bit, even more. And then it comes in. And it kicks forward again. These feet are so big. Uh, bring it in. Bring this forward. Yep. No, no, just a line. Just a line. Maybe kick this back a bit for the visual. Which one? What am I looking at? No. Okay, we're screwed. I can't seem to click. Oh, it's not a face, I guess. It's this. Is it this? Oh, that's fine. It's fine. Who cares? Who actually cares? This a little bit wider. Look at that! That's amazing. Where's its tail? Where's its tail? We'll just rip this, get it back here. We're done. That's his tail. Okay, kind of small, kind of thin. Starts off in its butt, gets a bit smaller as it goes. Pop a line in there, and let's see what we can do. Quite small. Add another. This is interesting. That looks good. How do we get that line to just go inside its butt? And then. Oh my god, everyone. Oh my god. Don't overdo it. Don't you overdo this. It looks fine. I want it to be a little bit rounded though. How do we do this? That. Don't ruin it. Is that it? Oh, he's made it look weird. Oh no, I should have kept it as a box. That's not bad actually. That's not bad. Maybe we will really screw it by just raising this bit a little bit. He's kind of got this bit going on, and then it's kind of straightish. So that's probably not good what I just did. Okay, stop. Stop now. Oh no! What has he done? Okay. Okay, it looks fine. Looks absolutely fine. It's within the box. So let's copy all the bits and just make it a little bit bigger. All the bits. Is that all? Neck, neck too. Keep it inside. Yes. Looking good. Okay, let's get rid of that. So let's check out the enemy. Enemy wolf. Now battle visual. This is where we want to change. We'll drag the wolf in there. Oh, it's a bear. Ah, no. Okay. Okay, this is a wolf. It's a wolf, guys. It's always been a wolf. So we'll make it a little bit speedier. And give it tons of movement. Okay, oh my god, it's a wolf. So what do we have now? We can get rid of this, I think. Yep. Oh, the encounter should also, well, maybe we want the encounter to have the battle map as well. I guess that's completely dependent on how the game works. Decide on how a battle map is chosen. Is it based on where you are standing on a world map, um, tied to the encounter, something else. So create battle units. Where is the init battle state? Have we used it in a while? Probably not. So battle dot unit battle unit setup, something like that. Where's the battle manager? Uh, okay, public void battle unit setup. So in here is where we'll create the list. So how do I want this to work? At the moment we just start combat like that. Public void start encounter. Probably pass in a list of units maybe. Player units player unit list, and a list of an encounter data, and then this will probably store this somewhere. Private list of units, player unit list. So when we start an encounter, this player unit list will take a this is just while we get it set up. Maybe we don't actually need to store this stuff, but you'll need to store that definitely for rewards and things, or gaining items perhaps. I don't know if we'll need to store this permanently. I guess we do if we want to get here and then set up the units based on this, or battle units based on that. Um, we'll set combat equal to false, and then change the state to begin the battle. Um, so we have all the data we want to set up the battle units now, but now because we have no way of actually running this properly, we will have temporary values. This is going to not be accessible anymore. Let's see if that breaks anything, actually, making that private and not accessible. It shouldn't. If it does, then bad coding somewhere. Nope, all good. So this is just going to be public because it will not stick around long. Encounter data, test encounter data. So public list of units, test player unit list. And in start, we will start encounter by passing in the test player list and the test encounter data. So you can see now, this can easily come from elsewhere. This can come from an outside piece of code, i.e. the game manager. The game manager will have some way of knowing what encounter we want to go to, and it will have some access to, say, a party list or something like that, and then it can call start encounter as its public. So let's just assign those values. Battle manager. So the test unit list will be these guys. Encounter data will be the wolf. Okay. I'll just lazily add the... No, I can't do that. I need to actually create the battle units. Okay. I was going to try that for testing, just add them to the list and see if the game still ran. But I'm going to have to add players, add enemies. But there should be some sort of commonality between creating a battle unit um, and I guess there will need to be a link to the battle unit prefab, which could go in config with some other stuff. Now, config is kind of, the battle prefab is very much battle specific. I maybe want to create a battle config and a game config if I feel like the need arises when I come to build more outside of combat systems. I definitely don't want to forget these values though, because this would be very annoying if all that was lost. Uh, okay, public game object, battle unit prefab. It's going to be screamed at for not returning something. Battle unit equals instantiate the config instance dot battle unit prefab set parent. Is it the it's in the scene. I guess I could just attach it to battle manager, but that's yeah, I guess these units won't be in the scene much longer, and then scene can just be battle map and other little doodads and things. Okay, so yeah, we'll just set the parent as transform battle unit equals battle unit object dot get component battle unit, and we'll return the battle unit. In here, we probably will add a lot of different things, like setting the alliance and whatnot. But for now, that'll stop it screaming at us. What was I actually trying to do this for? Oh, adding the prefab, that was it. Okay, let's put the battle unit there. So let's have a look at the battle unit. We have a visual in here which hmm, can I do this the other way around? So center scalar, let's see. Right, still does that. Still does that. So it's visual that has the -6, and this has nothing, which is pretty good. That's pretty much exactly what I wanted. Um, or is it? Or is it? Center scalar's up, visual's down. Can I just test this? Is this going to work, or is it going to have issues? Immediate issues. Battle manager. Okay, the battle unit list is nothing. So for I in player unit list dot count, battle unit equals create battle unit, and we will just add that to the list, and I think that would hopefully be enough to get it running again. Got to pass in a unit, and then the battle unit set units. Oh yeah, that's we haven't actually done a setter for this yet because it was just done manually. This dot unit equals unit. So let's just type it out so it's a bit more obvious. We're just passing in a unit to there. Set unit equal to unit. Is that enough? No. Is it just because I didn't set it up? Come on. Battle unit list equals new list battle units. Set position. Wait, what kind is this? It's actually looking for V3 or is it looking for both? Okay, either's fine. Where's safe? So I plus 1, 0 and 0, and that should be 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Sweet. These can be removed as they are no longer part of the battle. Bravery test stuff, just deleting objects from the scene. Okay, great. It looks like ooh, some of the important stuff's here, but some isn't. It's kind of broken. Let's see. Dig down, and it comes up out of place. So this is what I wanted to see essentially with battle unit getting shifted around. So visual is up there, and if I'm moving visual to 0, you see, he's freaking out and moving around when he shouldn't. So if visual is here and we want to jump it up and then jump it back down, that's fine. Center scale is down at the bottom, so I think it's gonna, yep, it's gonna be freaky. So instead of this, I think it would be better if I came up with just manipulating visual with the center box like the code Grok mentioned. Cut this whole thing out and it means I don't need to manipulate the positions pretty much at all. Let's delete center scaling. Let's just go all in. All in. Delete the script as well. Get it. Center scaler dead. Okay. Not a thing anymore. Get rid of it. And give me some more errors to fix. Thank you. So this is the scaling part. So what do we want to do here? Grok. In Unity C#, how do I scale an object from its center even when the pivot is at the bottom of the object? This is to be temporary. I want to perform a do tween, do scale, to scale to 0, then back to 1. Temporarily adjust transform during scaling. I guess it's fine if the visual moves. It is fine if the visual moves. Just as long as it gets set back again at the end. Whoa, what? Okay, yeah, that's scaling to nothing. That's fine. Lerp towards the center as it scales down. Oh. So I get it. So it sort of moves it up as it scales. So it looks like it's scaling in, it looks like it's scaling down into the middle, but it's actually scaling down at the bottom while moving up. That's pretty smart. So I'll just rip this bit and see. On there, be visual, battle unit visual. Battle unit dot battle unit visual dot transform dot local scale y original scale y 1 battle unit dot battle visual dot, you know what, that's really bad. Original scale y equals 1. Much better. Then transform position lerp original position. original local position, maybe BattleUnit.battleVisual.transform.position. Is this what it's looking for? Vector 3. Pivot offset equals new, and I think this is 0, 0, 0. So be adding nothing. Let's just see. Original local position plus the bottom offset. This is probably not the right thing that I'm writing in here. So, oh, half height. I see. Half height. So it just wants half the height. Pivot offset. And then is it essentially just that again, but original scale? Going back to the original scale. Scale to 0 and then scale to 1. Then on update. Let's just rip this again, and then we'll paste in the bits we want, or figure out the bits we want. Transform.local scale y, and then original scale is just 1. Original scale y. Original scale is essentially all we're looking for there. So let's see, BattleUnit visual, yep. I hope this works. It'd be quite nice. Original, wait, fuck, what is this? Is this a original position? Plus the bot. Oh, okay, this is the starting position. Okay, pivot offset. So we're starting up there and we're returning to the original local position. Wonderful. All right, well, let's just have a look and thank Grok if it looks good. So this is fly. Looks good. This is dig. Looks good. This is walk. Looks good. Let's just check walk on a couple more platforms. Yep, looks good. Okay, so warp. Hey! Position. Oh, hold on. This is try local position here. Local position. Local position. Because it's not really the position we're trying to set here. It's just the visual inside the battle unit. Okay. Um, Original local position is not using local position. I don't know if that'll fix it though, but it's something that would have been wrong. Let's see. Okay, yeah, it did fix it. Nice. So, yeah, brilliant. And I don't need any wonky scaler or anything. Jeez, what have I done in this video? Start off enemies, that's a big one. Added in quite a lot. Encounter data. Oh yeah, the list. We create an enemy unit, create an encounter data. We're working on getting the function to start combat and pass in an encounter. Oh, actually, we're working on this one. Create a battle unit. In here, nope, nope. In the manager itself, there we go. So this is technically working. I don't know. I think maybe there's a couple more things to add. Um, uh, I don't think we need to set alliance because that's done in the prefab. Yep, alliance is enemy. So when we try and run effects that only target friends and enemies, that should be covered. Full targeting, yeah, we'll check that out, but I think it's already, oh, yeah, I'm not actually spawning the enemy yet, so that'll be the next thing. For encounter data dot unit and position list. Unit equals encounter data, so unit and position list I. Okay, that's dreadful. Okay, unit and position. Okay. The unit is unit and position dot unit prefab. So this will require instantiating, but we need to keep track of these so we can destroy them at the end of combat. So we got player list, and we'll need enemy unit list. Instantiate the unit prefab. Game object enemy unit object. Enemy unit object dot name. Maybe give it some name. Yeah, we'll just rename it after that. Transform set parent. This is going to be, I guess we just attach that in the battle manager itself as well. Unit enemy unit equals enemy unit object dot get component unit. So we have the unit. Now we get the battle unit. Enemy battle unit equals create battle unit based on the enemy unit. battle unit list dot add enemy battle unit, and then we'll set the enemy battle unit position to whatever is passed in through the unit and position. You know what? And position should have a rotation. Rotation. So we will have this one, I believe it's going to be facing this way towards the Z, so we want to rotate 180 on the Y to face towards the player. So this is probably enemy battle unit dot transform dot rotate, and then we'll try this, see if that works out of the box. May need to do something else, but hopefully that's fine. Let's just see. Let's just see how far that gets us. There. Wow. So, looks like it doesn't have stats. Okay, these four have stats. So, what happens when the unit gets spawned? There's the unit, enemy.wolf. It has stats. Um, so we spawn a unit, and then set default stats. Stats.set. Is it just because I've not initialized something here? Okay, so stats.set. Stat dictionary. Is it really the stat dictionary? Not on awake, that should be filling itself, or initializing itself. The wolf has stats. Or why is the unit unchecked? Very weird. Let's see if that happens again. Yeah, is that just because this, it turns it off instead of completely breaking the game maybe? Let's give it a second or a frame to actually create and set up. Maybe that's the problem. We're creating a unit, and before it has a chance to actually awake and do everything, it's been asked to call on values. Um, so yeah, it looks like it's got no stats because these didn't run. These didn't get added, which is what the error is saying essentially. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. So when we spawn the enemy, the unit is for some reason turned off. This would be very weird if this fixes it. I don't know why it's turning it off. I'll need to do some web searching to see if that's just a common thing that Unity does. Uh, a prefab, the unit script on it is disabled. Why? Uh, Preserves the exact state of the prefab in the project window. Why? The script shouldn't be disabled at instantiation, I believe. Here it is here, it is turned on. Um, is the unit itself, is a unit? No, that's ticked. Is the parent inactive? I don't think so. Okay, this is what I was thinking. This is closer to where my mind was going. Maybe because something is broken, it turns it off. Right, let's see. So what would be breaking this? Let's just yield return null to skip a frame here too, just in case. This is really strange. So stats on awake. Hold on. Yeah, okay, I've got it. So you don't want to call on anything outside of this in awake because it might not be ready yet, which seems like that's the problem. So it needs to be in start when everything else is ready to go. That's a bad one. I should have caught that earlier. Maybe this will fix the problem. I think it should. And it's a good example of is this technically a race condition where something runs before something else and you get an error because of it? Well, script execution anyway, so yeah. Just put it in start if it relies on something outside of itself. Yeah, looks like it's done. Yep, there's the wolf. It's the wolf's turn because it's faster than everyone else. It's these four's turn. That looks beautiful. And it's back to the wolf's turn. So battle units are created on the fly now, dynamically, based on what is passed into the battle manager. Still need to change some controller things here. None of them have this updated yet. Battle manager. Okay, here's the battle unit. So when it's inside the player, it's inside the player list, so we can just go straight into the controller and set default controller type to be player. And then we probably reset the default after it as well. I could probably bundle this into one, but it seems a bit unnecessary. And then similarly, we will come into the battle unit here. Call it enemy battle unit. And this time the controller is the CPU. So what does that leave us with? We have a state machine. Select battle unit. So then it runs this start turn and it says the callback will be changed to the select action. But really what this is going to do now, if the acting battle unit, so we'll say battle unit, acting battle unit. You know what, we're using this multiple times, we can pop this outside. Acting battle unit equals battle.turn.acting battle unit. So we can just get rid of this now. If acting battle unit dot controller dot current equals player, we will change to that state. Else, at the moment, because we haven't got any confusion, etc., I will just add in to do though. Need to care for possibly confused, possibly. So if it's not the player, we will change state to something else. Let's select action battle state. We'll copy this and call it CPU select action battle state. So what we will do is select battler. Okay, this will be CPU select action battle state. So if it's the player, that is, if it's the player's turn, allow them to select an action. Otherwise, go to a different state called CPU. Um, there's going to be no input here. We're not allowed to input. On enter. Yeah, we don't really need this, I don't think. Not yet, anyway. We're going to have no input at all. But what will happen is when we enter the state, we will yield return new, wait for seconds, let's say 2 seconds, and then we will just change the state. We want to go to the exit state somehow, or end turn state. How do we do that again? Let's have a look. Select action. This changes state to the end turn battle state. Is that okay? Yep, it then creates an action. Okay, we'll just change the state. End turn battle state. So if it's the computer's turn, it will just wait 2 seconds and then end its turn. And that's purely so that we can see that something is happening. So at the beginning of the game, 1, 2, end its turn, and it's our turn now. So the action bar, the UI, let's see, action bar canvas, start off -100. So it pops up when it's our turn, and we need to make it go away again. Why was it? I thought I already set it up to go away, but I guess not. UI, action bar UI. So we get on enter, but we didn't ever get on exit. So we yeah, I guess on exit we will just hide, I think. I think that'll do it. And then remember, because we always remember, to unsubscribe at some point. So because the way we've locked it in, it's hidden to begin with. It means it will only appear when it's during a player's turn, and at the end of the player's turn, it should disappear. So nothing while it's the wolf's turn. Hours, 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 nothing for the wolf's turn. Beautiful. So we've got another pretty important thing to do in the battle manager. Here we go. Let's open up the BattleUnit prefab, and we're going to delete the item in visual, because when we create the BattleUnit, there's no set visual. We should probably do set visual just so that just to keep the code good. We don't want to get lazy. set visual, be a game object, visual object or something like that. And then when we set this, battle unit visual will be the parent. So we will say game object visual. Let's call this visual object prefab because I'm pretty sure it comes from prefab there. We will instantiate the prefab visual object dot transform set parent equal to battle unit visual dot transform. That may be it. And then in here, when we need to set visual, and this is going to be the units battle visual, and we need to do that in here as well. Doesn't exist. Enemy battle unit. Okay. Enemy unit. So we should get to see that beautiful wolf model that I paid hundreds of dollars for. What in the name? That'll be it. Fly to the enemy. Dig to the enemy and blind the thing. So the wolf has been blinded. Walk and then cast fire on the wolf. Oh, see, it's not a valid target because it's not an ally. Huh. Time to tidy up some of that BS then. Fire. Just alive target condition. Get rid of this thing. Get rid of the alliance target. So this way you can do friendly fire. Absorb action is not being shown. Where did it do? This is going to be just the same as the heal action. Absorb pop-up. And we never forget to unsubscribe. Not even once. So let's see. Let's get close so we can see a lot of people getting hit at once. Fire. Boom. Now let's see the health of the wolf. Nice. So we can damage the enemy. We can poison them and things. They get a turn. They just don't do much with it yet. That's been a really long video. I think gonna call it here. A lot of stuff done. Created a unit for a wolf, made a beautiful model for it. Created the encounter object that holds the enemy data. Created a function that triggers combat. We create battle units dynamically now based on what's passed in and the encounter data. Foe targeting, I think this is, yeah, that's already done. Doesn't matter, get out. Set up states for the CPU to make decisions. That's been done. So it's the ability pickers next and some sort of artificial intelligence list. It's essentially a priority list of try to do this thing. If you can't, move on to the next one. Try to do that thing. If you can't, move on to the next one. So yeah, not much left actually. We'll get that working and then the enemies can fight back. And then after that, as it says, we can do victory conditions because there'll be something to actually gain a victory over. So yep, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.